Hello, dear lovely, lovely YouTube. It's been a while since I was here. Little chat about Epstein. I watched a TikTok the other day and the woman said, don't let it go. We can't let this Epstein thing drop because often in the past, people in power do believe that they are untouchable and that they are above the law. And they think that the people, the main majority of people are just little people who can't do anything and have no power. But of course a lot of little people have a lot of power. We can't let it go. They used to have this old phrase, they used to say, today's news is yesterday's fish and chip paper, because they used to wrap up fish and chips in newspaper. And that is probably what they believe about these royal scandals and the Epstein and Prince Andrew. I don't think it's going to happen this time. I'm hoping this time there'll be enough public opinion for people to actually have some influence in the powers that be. We can only hope, right, that that is what's going to happen. But also we can add our voices. So just by making videos about it and just by talking about it, it keeps it alive, doesn't it?
So if this is possible, if they switched her out, I feel like there's going to be no way to prove it, right?
Okay, so look at this. So what's happened here? What they're saying is this one on the left is supposed to be Ghislaine Maxwell. Look at this triangular nose she's got, and this one's got a really long nose. Right, this person is supposed to be this person. It's possible, I suppose, if she put on a load of weight and she has aged. You sort of tell from the ears, can't you? Not that I'm an expert, of course, right? But on first glance, it doesn't look like her. It looks like someone who looks like her, right? Chin's even different here. Anyways, we're supposed to believe this is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. And then someone was walking along the street the other day and they saw this woman. And they said to her, Ghislaine. And she turned her head and responded. Now, maybe you would turn your head and respond to anyone saying a name near you or saying anything near you because you think, oh, they're having a conversation. But this person does look remarkably like Ghislaine Maxwell, but does she look too young to be Ghislaine Maxwell? There are a lot of people who look like a lot of people. It would just be very, very unfortunate for this woman if she looked that much like Ghislaine Maxwell that she could be mistaken for her. And if I was this person, I'd definitely come forward just to let people know I'm not Ghislaine.
If you make them do a blood test, they probably gonna get somebody, you know, the fake. It's if she's out, it's done for. But these pictures, man, are just, when you look at them, like I said, people do have doppelgangers, but my goodness, man. And the fact that the guy with her looked like her brother as well. Hoo-wee, man. I don't know if I've ever seen someone who looks so much like somebody. The person who...
And also, somebody could have set this up for a TikTok video, couldn't they? Somebody could have got two people that looked very like Ghislaine and her brother, put them together. It's possible. We're living in a world where we don't know what's true anymore, aren't we? Let me know. Leave me a comment. What do you think?
Who, if that ain't her, that person who we think she might be, she need to come out and make a video or something. Family, friends, yeah, because this is crazy.
So we all know that prison can change one's appearance, right? Obviously. Especially if you're a billionaire heiress who's had the best of the best her entire life. Your diet changes drastically. You're not getting as much exercise. You can't get your fancy procedures done anymore. You're gonna look and feel differently. Now, this is Ghislaine Maxwell shortly after she entered prison. This is her mugshot, and this is Ghislaine as of recently. Just last week, she had to sit down for a deposition. Now listen, I know a lot of us citizens can be gullible, but who the fuck is he? Does prison change your entire nose shape? The shape of your eyes? Your chin? I mean, did they swap out her brother for her? Y'all.
Look, and the world is full of news about Prince Andrew and the King.
Hi everybody, I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me once again is Dr. Martin Farr. He's a senior lecturer in contemporary British history at Newcastle University. Dr. Farr, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
See, the Americans seem to be covering this more than the British do, honestly. Dear Americans out there, thank you for keep covering this, because we don't seem to have giant YouTube channels of royal commentators that are British, do we? Even though we're the people that are living in the country. What is that all about? Why don't we have... Why aren't YouTube blowing up English, British channels who talk about the royals? The big ones seem to be American. So every time somebody wants to talk about the royals on British television, they bring over an American, which is just a bit weird. What is it? Has the Americans got more of an obsession with them than we have, or can we just not be trusted to talk about them?
As you and I have discussed last time, the relationships that disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein have had with the rich, the powerful, and the royal have long been under review, have long been well known, but we're learning a lot more details about them as we see the materials released by the Department of Justice in recent months. And we have seen an arrest because of these materials released just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so Prince Andrew's been arrested not for any underhand... See, I'm struggling to find the words without that's not going to get kicked off YouTube. He's been arrested for... What is it? Misconduct in public office, and why it is difficult to prosecute. Hold on. What do you mean? Why is it difficult to prosecute? What's going to be the excuse? Misconduct in a public office, by the way, does carry a life sentence. It can. They can just lock people up for life if they want. Can you even imagine Prince Andrew in prison? Why misconduct in a public office is so complicated and difficult to prosecute. If anyone thought that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor would be leaving a police cell and going to court, they were seriously wrong. That's because he's now under investigation for misconduct in public office. The offence, essentially an allegation of corruption, is one of the most difficult crimes to investigate, charge, prosecute and convict. Now, who wrote this? Dominic Casciani, Home and Legal Correspondent. Is this BBC News? Yeah, BBC News. Okay, so it's not wholly unbiased, is it? We do not know what Thames Valley Police put to Andrew during the 11 hours he was under arrest, but highly involved legal questions over whether an offence may have been committed will be at the heart of the investigation. Detectives will be going through a 4-step process, assessing which actions, if any, by the former prince amounted to misconduct in public office. First, was the suspect a public officer? Second, did they willfully neglect to perform their duty and or willfully misconduct themselves? Third, was that neglect or misconduct so bad that it amounted to an abuse of the public's trust in the office holder? Finally, did the office holder act without a reasonable excuse or justification? Well, and also another reason why people aren't talking about this is because they don't want to jeopardise or speculate about the case, because you can get into trouble for doing that, right? It hasn't stopped a lot of Americans speculating. Anyway, here's my little offering, just to keep it out there, just to keep the vocal up, just to keep the words up, the anti-Epstein rhetoric, the idea that being royal, Prince Andrew should not be above the law, right? Everybody is answerable, right? Take care, thanks for watching, bye for now.